Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about how this could finally be the day in which we get some information on Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced. Also, looking at a potential release date, although it doesn't seem to line up with when Rockstar usually makes releases, and then hearing from Rockstar Games insider Tez Funds 2 on how the game might be delayed, and if so, how long it's going to be delayed for. We'll be talking about all of that in this video today and a whole lot more. So let's very quickly talk about when we could hear some information from Rockstar or Take-Two Interactive. And it looks like it could be coming in less than a month because Take-Two Interactive is scheduled to report on their third quarter fiscal year 2022 results on Monday, February 7th, 2022. So this announcement was made last week, and they essentially said that it plans to report its financial results for the third quarter of the fiscal year 2022, which ended on December 31st, 2021, after the markets close on Monday, February 7th, 2022. And it's going to happen at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So in case you guys are wondering why we're talking about that, this is essentially when Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, they have an investor meeting and they have a phone call and they talk about a lot of the business success they're having, but there's also like a Q&A part at the end where they sort of answer some questions from people that do chime in. And usually big announcements happen right before these calls because that's obviously going to boost their stock price. And it also is something they can talk about on these calls. So we know that the expanded and enhanced version of Grand Theft Auto 5 is scheduled for March 2022. So if I was a betting man, I would say that before this date, February 7th, or maybe even right on this date, is when we will get information about the expanded and enhanced versions of GTA 5. Now, you might be wondering, well, isn't that cutting it a little bit close to the announcement and when the game is actually scheduled to come out? For a title that's not necessarily new, I would say the answer, really not so bad, because Rockstar did this with the definitive edition of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. So we obviously knew the rumors about this for a very, very long time, but we didn't officially hear about the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, the definitive edition from Rockstar, until October 8th, 2021. And then it ended up coming out, obviously, on November 11th, 2021. So just over a month is when we officially heard about this game. So if it is going to come out sometime in March, which we'll talk about when that might be a little bit later on, that means that hearing about it in early February would not be out of the realm of possibility. So just something to think about right there, that this might be the day in which we finally hear from Rockstar and or Take-Two Interactive. So as always, I will keep you guys posted on any news that happens before that date, and I'll also keep you tuned in to anything that Strauss Zelnick and the Take-Two Interactive team talk about on February 7th regarding Rockstar Games. So that will be very interesting to see what they ultimately discuss. Now, there's also been an interesting website that was found that has Grand Theft Auto 5, the expanded and enhanced version, coming out on March 5th, 2022. Now, this might just be a placeholder date because March 5th, 2022 actually falls on a Saturday. That seems very unlikely that that is when Rockstar is going to release a game. They've almost never done that before. If we go back to their most recent release, you've got the trilogy, the definitive edition. That came out on Thursday, the 11th. So I'm just going to assume that that is a complete placeholder, that the game is not going to come out on Saturday. Now, it also makes you wonder how it's going to be released too. Is it going to take the same approach that we saw with the trilogy, the definitive edition, where we have a digital-only version, and then a handful of weeks or even a month or two later, is there going to be a physical version that we can get? That is a question that we don't know the answer to because Rockstar haven't really officially told us anything about these titles. But if I was a betting man, I'm going to say it's most likely going to be on a Thursday, with the second likely other day being on a Tuesday. So just taking a look at those dates in March, you've got Tuesday the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th, and you have Thursday the 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st. It's a long month where you have both 5 Tuesdays and 5 Thursdays. You kind of sometimes typically don't see that in months. So there's a handful of dates that Rockstar could choose from there, if indeed that's the route they want to go to. Hopefully there is not a delay. That's what we talked about in my video the other day. We actually heard from this Brazilian Rockstar Games insider who apparently has a decent little reputation. We actually saw it posted on the blog Reset Era. Remember, he said, I received some information regarding the Grand Theft Auto expanded and enhanced title. The development was complicated at the moment. Its release is still in March, but there are great chances that it'll be delayed to April and May. Their original plan was the same, talking about just upgrading the last-gen versions with patches with a GTA Online standalone launched in 2021, but with the growth and evolution of Grand Theft Auto Online, it needs to have an engine that can withstand the precision and constant growth ahead. Since they are doing a re-adaptation, as I mentioned a while ago, Rockstar Games is preparing 3 amazing things for GTA Online. I can't say much, but pack your bags. So that is everything he said about the expanded and enhanced version of GTA 5 and then the standalone version of Grand Theft Auto Online. Lots of new stuff coming, but there could eventually be a delay. Well, we heard from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2, who I would say has a pretty good wealth of knowledge on this subject. He said, there's always a chance for a delay. But if we assume the release window for E&E is a late March release and it got pushed into early April, then I wouldn't consider that as an actual delay. In the sense the game needs more resources poured into it, a week or 2 delay wouldn't overhaul the game into a better state. It's often squashing small to mid-tier bugs. The new version could be ready and functional, but needs a bit more time to deal with the certification issues. Then again, for a developer like Rockstar, I assume it's a standard for them to simulate the certification process before actually sending the game to certification. So a couple of things here. Number one, if it is delayed a week or 2, this is probably due to a little bit of the aftermath from the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, the Definitive Edition. We saw how many bugs and glitches and issues those games launched with, and I'm pretty sure Rockstar does not want to repeat the same thing here. We also see this all the time in the gaming industry, where games just need a little bit more time to be polished. We've seen it with Rockstar releases in the past, like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. And then talking about the certification process, this is what happens when the game has to be sent to Sony and Microsoft so that they get the final approval so that the game can come out on their platform. This usually takes about a week or 2. So that might indicate why a delay might happen. There could be an issue with the certification process. Now, I can't imagine something like that would happen. As TezFunds2 said, Rockstar would probably end up building in that time to their release window, but it is just something to think about and, as always, to consider. So I'm really hoping this game does not get delayed because, like I mentioned in my previous video, there's not a whole lot going on right now. Obviously, we just got the Grand Theft Auto Online contract DLC, but by the time March comes around, we'll be done with all the DLC and the drip feed cars, so we're not going to have anything to celebrate. So we're really not going to have anything to look forward to during the week. And speaking of those drip feed cars, I know this really doesn't have to do with Grand Theft Auto Online, but it does look like the next car is going to be the iWagon, with insider TezFunds2 saying it seems like Rockstar support screwed up something. You can make an in-game missing item request and choose the iWagon when it's yet to be released. I guess the next vehicle to be a part of the drip feed on Thursday will be the iWagon. So there you go. I guess that gives us an idea of what vehicle we're going to be getting next. And so by March, though, we're not going to have vehicles like the iWagon out. And so because of that, Rockstar aren't going to have the same level of interaction with Grand Theft Auto Online as they do right now. And so there's kind of going to be this gap. And that March release of the expanded and enhanced version would be absolutely perfect. So hopefully it's not delayed. I don't think it's going to be March 5th. I think all Rockstar Games fans right now just want a little bit of good news. We're not getting to talk about a lot of all that great stuff, controversies and delays. So hopefully Expanded and Enhanced is just a great game with lots of updates and lots of new enhancements and features. So let me know what you guys think about all this in those comments down below and everything we discussed down there. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching, Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.